In the quiet shadows of our souls, some stories remain forever unheard. What happens to the words we never dare to say? What becomes of the apologies that never leave our lips? Where do memories go when we refuse to speak them? Can silence carry the weight of 1,000 unsaid words? Some words drown in silence. Others haunt us forever. This is the story of a letter that was never sent. The envelope rests silently on the worn wooden desk, its edges softened and curled by the relentless passage of time and neglect. It holds a secret, a fragile, trembling confession carefully folded within delicate paper, waiting in the shadows for a moment that never came. This letter is a silent scream, a whisper swallowed by fear, a love too broken, too raw to ever be spoken aloud. I wrote to you in the stillness of the night, under the cloak of darkness when the world was asleep and my heart was most awake. Every word was soaked in longing, every sentence bleeding with the raw ache of unsaid truths and broken hopes. Your name was the first thing I dared to write, sacred and fragile, like the delicate breath of a prayer cast into the vast emptiness. Each letter was a heartbeat, trembling and desperate, hoping you would somehow hear the silent agony buried beneath the ink. The paper soaked up memories, laughter that once filled rooms, now empty. The lingering silences heavier than thunder, and the widening spaces between us, growing colder and more unbearable with every passing day. This letter carried all the weight of my solitude, the quiet desperation of a soul aching for connection, a whisper screaming for closure. I poured everything into that letter. My regrets, sharp and jagged, cutting deeper than any wound I have ever carried. My fears, silent shadows lurking beneath my skin, gnawing away at my resolve. My love, fierce and broken, raw and unyielding, refusing to fade into oblivion. This letter was the only place I dared to speak my truth, when my voice failed me, when the silence between us screamed louder than any words ever could. It became my refuge, my confessional, a fragile vessel holding the fragments of a heart shattered yet still beating against the darkness. But the letter never left my hands. It remained folded like my own fragile hope, too heavy and too painful to release into the unforgiving world. Every day, I imagined you finding it, your fingers trembling as they traced each carefully chosen word, your eyes scanning the lines written with all the pain and hope I held inside. Would you read the apology I never had the courage to say? Would you find forgiveness nestled in the spaces where doubt and hurt once festered? Or would those words rip open wounds that time had barely begun to heal, leaving us both stranded in a cold, echoing silence that felt like the end of everything? That letter became a mirror, reflecting the darkest corners of my soul I was too afraid to face. It showed me the unbearable weight of unspoken sorrow, the grief of love lost, and the quiet ache of absence that gnaws relentlessly at the edges of hope. I clung to the fragile hope that one day those words would bridge the chasm between us, healing the fractures carved by time and silence. But time is a thief, stealing moments like grains of sand, slipping through desperate fingers. What was once urgent and burning slowly faded into a ghostly echo, swallowed whole by the endless void that grew between us. Now, the letter is nothing more than a ghost, a haunting reminder of what might have been whispered into the emptiness, a tender ache lodged deep within the shadows of memory and forgetting. I fold the silence into that letter again and again, tucking it away where no one else can see, where sorrow and love mingle, raw and untamed. Some truths, I have learned, are never meant to be spoken aloud. They live in the quiet chambers of the heart, fragile and relentless, holding the weight of everything lost and never regained. I carry this letter close, an anchor to the past and a silent scream into the abyss. It is a testament to love unspoken, to pain unshared, to moments slipping through our grasp like wisps of smoke. In its fragile folds lives the story of us, shattered dreams, whispered regrets, and a love that defied time and silence but was ultimately undone by both. It is the ghost of a goodbye never said, a hope that never reached its destination. And yet, in this quiet ache, in the stillness of words left unsaid, I find a fragile kind of peace. A peace born not from forgetting, but from the brutal acceptance that some wounds run too deep to ever truly heal, and some love is too broken to mend. The letter is no longer a burden, but a part of me. A testament to the resilience of the soul, the courage to feel even when it hurts beyond measure, and the strength to hold on to hope, even in the darkest, coldest nights. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are those that remain untold, whispered only in the quiet places where the heart aches the most, where silence screams louder than any voice. This letter is my story, my sorrow, my love, forever folded in silence, forever waiting for a moment that will never come. And if you ever wonder why I stayed silent, why I never spoke what tore me apart inside, know this: I was screaming beneath the quiet, drowning in the space between us, shattered in 1,000 ways I could never explain. The letter never reached you, because maybe some love is meant to be lost. Some words are meant to shatter rather than heal. Some silences kill louder than any goodbye. And in that broken silence, I found the brutal truth. Sometimes, the hardest thing isn't losing you. It's losing myself. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and wait for the next video.